That's the thing. The bitch didn't screech. That shit was perfectly fine. And then all of a sudden, it started scratching. It was just straight metal to metal. Like, you know how the brake pads usually, they wind down and then they start squeaking a little bit. There was none of that. Them bitches was fine. And then it was straight metal to metal. So I was rolling on that shit for like a week. Then that check drop, I was able to get that 600. That shit happened like right on time. But
yes, sir.
Bruh.
That shit was ate up.
Bruh.
I'm like legit concerned now that I haven't got my fucking stimulus check.
Bro, I
heard a few
I drove from Jacksonville to Tampa when I was coming home from college one time. Bro, when I tell you the brakes in my car were shot. I'm talking about like I'm like literally when I push on the brakes, like you can hear it just go like all the way down to the ground. Like it was just nothing. Nigga, I drove 3.5 hours, nigga, with and the only way like you can get the brakes to work, like you gotta like pump them. Like I had to like keep like push down on the pedal, lift it up with my foot, push down until it built up air, and then it would work. Nigga, I was rolling for a while. Like I had built up speed because at first I was kind of driving slow. After a while, I was like, fuck it, ain't nobody on the road. I'm driving. I finally get to my exit, nigga. Them brakes is not coming on. Nigga, like I'm sitting there trying to pump that shit. Like granted, like I said, luckily it wasn't really nobody out there, but I literally had to like just make a complete turn without even breaking strides off the off ramp onto the main street that I went on, with no brakes at all, nigga. Death wish.
Reckless.
Death wish.
Tragic.
All right, so what's y'all most? So let's go off of that though. So that's just what anybody else had any death wish like kind of situation? Well, all right. So Rudy,
I go last, but I got one way worse.
Got one worse than that? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'll wait till y'all go though, but I got one worse.
That nigga said driving all the way across a state with no brakes was nothing, nigga. I got something.
Nothing.
Damn, some deaf shit.
Well, just similar situation. I didn't mean to make it a topic.
I mean we can have a topic, but I'm trying to figure out.
Well, situations similar to Rudy, like something like that, where it might be funny or not funny. I don't know. You know, I was waiting for Rudy's to be funny.
Oh, when I was driving from Miami to Atlanta, it was like a 10-hour drive, and when I got there, my brother-in-law tells me like, "Yo, your back tail lights are out." So I drove the whole way there without taillights, and when we stopped to check the taillights or whatever, he looks at my tires, and he's like, "Bro, your tires are like completely worn. Like you can see the metal wiring of it, and they were just getting ready to pop, man." Because I was literally driving down Atlanta, like pulling in through downtown Atlanta, and my car was doing that thing where it starts shaking. And I don't know if anybody's ever had a tire pop on them on the expressway, but that's
that's a scary shit.
Yeah, that shit happened to me one time. I was going 80 and the car was pulling to the right, and then all of a sudden the tire just popped. So I knew that my tire was fucked up, and when we checked the brake lights, whatever, we looked at them, I had 2 tires that were like pretty much down to the wires type shit. And I drove all the way from Miami, and thank God nothing happened.
That was a really good use of down to the wire.
Right.
So yeah. And then it gets better because when I went to go buy the move the 2 bad wheels to the front or whatever the case was and get 2 new ones, my brother-in-law paid for one, I paid for the other. And whoever was working that day was a blessing because they fucked up and they gave me 4 new tires and they only charged me for 2. So when I went to go pick up the car, we looked at all the paperwork to make sure that all right, make sure they didn't charge me.
And I had to give him some ass.
So he said you got to give him some cheeks. But my first thing is, how the fuck did you manage to drive all the way? You said to Atlanta?
Yeah.
With brake lights out, I would have been stopped, beaten, killed, raped, punished.
I know the answer. I know the answer to that question.
You look
at his skin color.
I didn't want to call it out, but call it out, Lonnie, buddy.
No.
Exactly. You look Caucasian.
No, motherfucker, that has nothing to do with it. I don't drive like an asshole. And my car doesn't look beat up. My car looks regular. I'm just a regular ass.
Definitely shots fired.
Rudy Rudy won't get stopped in his car on some like regular shit. Like Rudy won't get stopped because it's just like a whatever car. You don't think anything.
White privilege.
Rudy won't get stopped because he's driving.
Rudy will get stopped for other things, but on some like your taillights are on it. No.
And brother, can you be?
I drove like a regular ass.
Rudy,
person.
What's wrong with your friend, bro? Can the brother be? You say you was riding with somebody.
No, you're trying to make me look like an asshole when it's not.
No, like, I'm not. I'm just saying.
No.
Sometimes people don't know their privilege.
No.
That's what Lonnie. You know what you're saying, brother Lonnie.
You want to know when I knew I got white privilege? Like one time I definitely felt the white privilege for sure. I was drunk as fuck in Gainesville and I left a bar with a beer in my hand. And I went, like, the police officer, like, told me, like, yo, just throw that out. And I said something, I threw it out, and then I went up to him, and I was like, yo, thanks for not hitting me like you do to people on the internet, or, like, some stupid shit like that.
Wow.
And he just laughed. You feel me? He just laughed. But I was like, the next day I thought about it, and I was like, bro, that's one reason to just get fucking just smacked in the face by a cop. Like, to pull up to a cop drunk at 2 a.m. type shit in a college, like, bro, bro.
Yeah, and CJay would have said that cop would have uppercutted that nigga.
Yeah.
That nigga had thanks for not hitting me.
Yeah.
CJay would still be in jail if that was the case.
So I know when I was driving and I didn't get stopped, I know I was driving like a good fucking person, which is why I didn't get stopped. I didn't get punched in the face because I know white privilege was definitely on my side. Like, absolutely.
Okay, so can I say right quick? I just want. First of all, I would have got stole immediately after he saw the drink in my hand, nigga. Soon as he saw the drink, I would have got beat the fuck up.
You might not have got the whole request about hey, throw that away real quick.
Not with your little ass drink, not with that baby ass sip you had. Cops gonna see you. Go ahead. Go about you,
hey, you're good, sir.
Hey, man.
Listen, he gonna smash the can in my face.
You're not black enough. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Exactly. Thank you. Rudy, help your friend. You don't have a private conversation with him. First and the second one was white privilege. And Lonnie called it out on the first one, and you brought up the second one. It was on you. It was on you. You brought up the second one, motherfucker.
Nah, they know.
That's on you, my friend.
No white privilege. No white privilege.
No, I know. Listen, I know. Damn, look. I know you, my Latin brother. You understand?
You my Latin brother.
You Spanish, right?
Yeah.
The only motherfucker benefiting from white privilege is the only motherfucker that hasn't said anything since the words white privilege has come up.
The nigga without the tax money.
And let me tell you how this nigga, and this ain't even on no, he's white, so, but this is some real shit. This nigga comes to me, I'll be like, hey, bro, I parked over here and I'm worried about this shit getting, I'm worried about it. I just say I parked somewhere, I'm worried about it. Bro, what the fuck are they gonna do? Tow your shit? Yeah, maybe. No, fuck that. No, the fuck they won't. Let me tell you something. There's no sign over here. They're not gonna do anything. If they do anything, if they try anything, I'll fucking, bro. This man, I'm like, nigga, everything that you saying, this does not come to my thought process. I'm begging for anything. Like, please don't take my shit. And this nigga is saying, you better not fucking take my shit. I will fuck you. Like you take my shit.
That nigga Lonnie waiting on the encounter with the fucking meter maid ass nigga. He's like, yo, no, touch my shit.
Listen,
you put a motherfucking ticket on my shit, I'm gonna beat your ass.
I'm like no bullshit. Lonnie is the nigga I want around if any official is trying to fuck with my car. Like no bullshit.
That's literally all my criminal justice degree is worth, is those kind of interactions.
I didn't know you had a criminal justice degree.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Look at that, man.
Real, I didn't even know you went to college. Let me just say that.
Come on. Don't do that, man. I'm gonna go on your page. Where Lonnie at? I'm gonna go with Lonnie. Lonnie. Listen, my man. I knew. I'm over here with you now, buddy.
I'm not looking at
Bro, you got a silhouette of a fan on your background. That is your goddamn background, CJay.
That's gangster.
You look like you sitting in my grandma's house. My grandma has one just like that.
Listen,
I was trying to figure out what that shit was this whole time, bro. I thought that was that nigga head. I thought that was a shot of his head.
Oh, wow. That's how y'all going? Yeah, let me get that dude right there. You see it? You see that? It's right there. It's fine. It's fine, brother. It's fine. I'm in my office.
brother.
That's a pretty harsh light, nigga, to have such a detailed shadow of a fan.
You are in the
nigga.
corner of your living room. You are not in the office, CJay. You are not fooling nobody, CJay.
This nigga in a prison.
Listen, exactly. I'm a black man. You exactly right, brother.
Here it goes.
Exactly right, brother.
There it go. He
smart.
lit off that tequila.
You smart. Listen, one thing I don't do, I'm in my 40s. I just let y'all little niggas know, I don't get lit. Rudy know me. I just get more real. Listen, I'm in my bedroom. Look at it. Look, I can go right from here to here. Look, you see that's the fan. You gotta have that. And then you can just go right on over here. And go ahead and call it a day. You see that? You say that, nigga?
Hey man. Hey bro, don't look at me for laying down at your pillow, bro.
Exactly, nigga.
Back up and swing back in my corner with my chair.
Relax, nigga. At your bedroom,
sitting here. That's an efficiency, bro. You're living in the efficiency. I was in the efficiency, my nigga. I understand. Believe me.
That's a good one. I set myself up.
I like that one.
I set myself up for that. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
That nigga showed us the whole crib, man. This is my kitchen.
Come on, Rudy.
I piss right next to the fan, right here.
Rudy. Don't
I cut the fan on to dry my ass after I shit.
Let him run. Let him work.
Let him run.
Work. Let the nigga work. Work, nigga, work.
Go ahead and let him get his shit off. Go ahead and let him
I'll go ahead and get it off. These niggas out here staying with their grandparents and all types of shit. Like I don't know what to do, bro. Rudy, I got a whole ass family. I'm in my own zone. This zone over here. This me. This zone.
This is zone.
That's a zone. Yeah, this is just a small.
He like, I'm the only room that got a fan in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
My fan. Nobody touching this thing.
Ain't nobody got a motherfucking fan in their room but me. I'm the king around here.
He got CJay on the back of it and permanent marker, a little faded.
He petty.
King of the bees.
You know I'm a petty nigga.